I just wasn't good. Like to this day, I can't draw that well. I'm not that good at drawing. But I always loved art, especially when I got to like 14, 15. Like I always loved art, as in taking it in as a consumer. I remember on one of my birthdays, me and my mum went to Amsterdam. Just went to loads of exhibitions, like, a lot. So art has always been important to me. Like not even, I say like paramount to my life. Music, actual art, as in like paintings, and then I always loved clothes, all these different forms of art, but I was never making it. I just never saw a need for me. And anytime I did, I always used to try really hard. I just never looked good. When I was at GCSE, not GCSE, you know when you do art like year 9, just doing it. I remember I used to try so hard. You know when the teachers come around and giving like, yo, like this is cool. Like I just never got that, yo, it's cool. And of course, everything else in school, I was passing that.
You was excelling in those things.
I've always been like top set, making it work. And like they're just never taking me in. I just used to be like, whoa, like. But then I realized probably like like it's not my thing. I'm not artsy guy. So
you see how you mentioned that you were always interested in clothes. So what was your style like when you started being able to almost like dress yourself? Do you know what I mean?
So cool. When I used to get dressed by my mum, silly fly, like dumb fly, like my baby pics dumb fly, because my mum's fly, my pops is fly, like everyone can put it on in my family. My little sister fly, everyone can dress. So when I was young, my mum dressed me, I was just wearing swagged out stuff. Loads of Gap.
Yeah.
But like swag.
Gap was a shit them days, bro.
Well, Gap's the shit today. Like, I got a little hoodie, but yeah. And then when I got to the point of dressing myself, I went for a tangent where I just wasn't fly. It was a good 2.5 years. I just wasn't putting it on, like just following what everyone was doing around me. Naturally, I'm only a kid, isn't it? And then I remember I got to one point. This is a crazy. If you remember this, it'll be crazy. But there used to be Hype. You know, you have Hype, tie-dye stuff, yeah. And then there was a brand called Ratchet. Ratchet, yeah. And Ratchet is crazy for so many reasons, because one, it was just a guy on social media who started it, like on Instagram, like everything today. But this was back in the day, like, I want to say like year 7. I was in year 7. So like maybe like 2013.
Okay.
So I must have found something on Instagram and then purchased it like from a link, like everything how we do nowadays. But back in those days, that was unheard of. So I remember I had one fit. It was like Ratchet t-shirt. No one's got that. Everyone was Hype. I'm on Ratchet. Had some jeans. And then I remember I got Harachis early. I was early onto the wave. And that's one of my fits I remember. Like, I was different. Everyone was wearing this and I was wearing this. And that feeling, ever since I had that, I was always coming back and forward with that. I do stuff that other people did, but it's always like, yo, let me try to add something that people aren't wearing.
Why do you think you had that? What do you think made you do that? Like, want to be different in that sense?
I don't even know, because it wasn't like for attention. I wouldn't even say it was for attention. I guess it was just, I always feel like if everyone's moving one way, like, just try and move a different way. It feels natural to do that. That's even why, like, so this tracksuit has no logo in it except from this little grey tag. Because at the moment, everything's so logo heavy based.
Logo mania's coming back,
like, yeah. So do something a different way, because someone will appreciate it, and that's nice. But also for myself, it's like just communicating something, giving something different to the world. Like, that's one thing I'm so heavy on. There's so much in the world, so if you're gonna contribute, even if it's the way you dress, can you give something slightly different?
When you started to quote unquote dress different, how did people react around you?
I don't know, because at school, like, I'm from Essex. I was the only dark-skinned boy in my whole year. It's cool. 250 people. Then in year 10, another guy came in. It was me and him. But I used to kick ball. Like, I feel like I've always been cool. I knew myself. I was confident in myself. So I think people thought it was hard. But I may be just tripping. Like, maybe people were like, yo, this guy's on some other stuff. But I just didn't know. I've never really paid too much attention to, like, what other people think. So I'd be lying if I said I really know. But I think people thought I was rocking it, putting it on.
You know that you added the context of being the only other, well, one of the few dark-skinned guys in your school. I find it even more interesting that you were kind of willing to to step outside of what everyone else was doing, because especially when you're like othered in certain places, all you want to do is fit in.
Yeah.
So I proper rate that you were like, bruv, I'm just gonna be myself. Do you know what I'm saying?
I feel like naturally, as you said, I think it's so perfect how you articulated that, because it was either try and fit in. I'm never gonna fit in, bro. I'm black. They're white. It's never, and that realization of calm. It's not gonna work. Like, do your own thing. And that didn't just happen. Like, I remember when I was a kid, bro. I watched Match of the Day every day. There's these lit white strikers all making goals. They all have Mohicans. Bro, I was telling to my mom, getting the Mohican. I have an afro.
Your
mom was like, "That's not gonna." Mum, so we bought the texturizing cream. Yeah, this is funny because I just seen my passport picture. It was my Ghanaian one, and like it's me with this like black afro pushed together like mohawk, and it looks so whack, but like, it's so necessary to go through these journeys, and like I can look back at it and laugh now, but like it helped me find myself.
Yeah. By experimenting and trying different things.
Like,
wait, so are you saying that you S-coded your hair? You done a little texturizing thing?
I texturized it, but not even to be curly. I wanted it to be straight so I could mohawk it. Yeah. It needed to mohawk. So I looked like, who was rocking a mohawk then? It was that trend where like guys used to have a little quiff at the front, mohawk at the back. There was some lit striker. I don't know who he was, but I wanted to be like, bro.
You wanted to be like him.
Was it him?
Balotelli.
Yeah, Balotelli's lit though. Like,
he is lit.
He's lit. Like,
Big fly.
But it wasn't Balotelli though. Because if it was Balotelli, I'd stand on it and be like, yo, like I was swagged out. But it wasn't him. Okay,
I'd be like, I'm gonna go back and have a look actually.
Yeah, nah.
Thank you for watching another episode of Where's My Podcast. If you ever want to take in future episodes on the go, you can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Whilst you're there, please leave us a 5-star review. It would really help. And also, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, WMTV_LDN, to keep up to date with the latest goings on in UK fashion. Keep it locked.